What is good, everybody? It's me, EC1. Just gonna do it at 4, but what's up? What's up for the AM? What's up for the AM? Um, Came back, just went to the gym a little bit, worked on my, working on trying to get in shape. That's my goal. My summer is to work out. But I figured to come talk some football with y'all. Listen to a lot of these opinions on IG, Twitter. You got a lot of, I want to say, smart Eagle fans, but you got a lot of stupid ones. And pretty much what I'm saying is a lot of Eagle fans are intelligent when it comes to thinking that Quez Watkins. Let's start by saying this, right? And further AM, I definitely, if you want to come on, I'll send you a link. Anybody says that we don't need a number three, you either like Quez Watkins a lot or you haven't watched the game. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think we're done at receiver. Yeah, you brought guys in. Congratulations. But when you talk about Quez Watkins, what has he done? Pascal took his job. Everybody wants to talk about, we don't need Hopkins. He wants to be number one. The dude is 31 years old. Okay? He's not the number one receiver like he used to be. He's not going to want to be the number one anymore. Once you get to that point where you get a little bit older, you just want to go to a team that's ready to win. I need people to stop saying, oh, if you add DeAndre Hopkins, well, it might make AJ angry. Well, if AJ is angry, then he's not perfect for this locker room. Because this is the point. He's not angry though. If he was angry, he would have been angry last year. Everybody got targets. Did you see Devontae Smith throwing a tantrum when Pascal was getting targets? No. Did you see AJ Brown throwing a fit when Pascal was getting targets? What about Devontae Smith was getting targets? Did you see that? No. So I don't understand the point where everybody's saying he would get angry. Why would he get angry? If you go when you get DeAndre Hopkins, you bring him into Philadelphia and to be that number three, wouldn't it make AJ Brown better? Wouldn't it make Devontae Smith better? That's how I'm looking at it. You know, it's not like he would be the number one if he comes to Philadelphia. Now, here's the thing why I think the Eagles have a better chance than a lot of other teams. Let's look at the teams. Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes came out and said, we don't need a DeAndre Hopkins. We're fine at receiver. He flat out said his receivers, he thinks that they have their number one. It could Kadarius Toney. Whether that's true or not, if you're DeAndre Hopkins, do you want to go somewhere where you have a chance of maybe playing with the best quarterback, but you have a stacked AFC teams ready to defeat you? They just won the Super Bowl. They got a target on their back too. Number two, the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to pay a top receiver. If they got rid of Tyreek Hill for the money reasons, why would they pay DeAndre Hopkins? Makes no sense. They got other contracts they have to fill in. They got other contracts they have to sign. The Eagles got the most cap space. For anybody saying we can't afford anybody, do your research. We got enough money to sign DeAndre Hopkins if we want to. You look at other teams, the Baltimore Ravens, they just signed Odell Beckham Jr. And I ain't gonna lie to you, if I'm DeAndre Hopkins, do I want to go somewhere? Let me be real with you. Lamar Jackson hasn't shown he can be at a high level with him winning playoff games. He's played 2 playoff games and he's only been in the second round. He's not shown he could take a team all the way to a Super Bowl. They also got Zay Flowers they drafted, a first rounder. Somebody told me on Twitter, well, why would you not think, well, Zay Flowers is not enough? What do you mean he's not enough? He's the number one receiver. They got Bateman over there. They got Duvernay over there. They got OBJ over there. They don't need Hopkins. They're fine at receiver. When they got OBJ, they were solidified there. So that's off those. I don't think Baltimore's going to go after him. They got their number one in OB. They got their number one in Zay Flowers. They're gonna be stacked right there in receivers. You got who else would need a receiver? Dallas, they're too cheap to go out and get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. They were too cheap to trade for him. They're not doing it. They think they're satisfied with Brandon Cooks and Gilmore. The Giants, I think they're satisfied. I think they need a receiver, but the GM doesn't want that because they don't believe in their quarterback. They just signed Daniel Jones so they can tank for the dude that they're going to be the guy that's coming out next, Caleb Williams. I think Hopkins goes to the Chiefs. I don't think so. Why would DeAndre Hopkins go to the Chiefs? And if he is, he's an idiot. I'm gonna tell you why I think I think DeAndre Hopkins should go to Philadelphia. Number one, because I think we need a number three. I don't care what we sign. That's not enough. You telling me that Quez Watkins showed you that he's reliable? Dude, if I had my way, Quez Watkins would be off this team right there. I think he stinks. I mean, he has all the speed, but yet he can't track a goddamn football. He has all the speed, he can't run routes properly. He has all the speed, but yet he doesn't know how to get separation when he's supposed to. We've seen it sometimes, but he's raw. He's a sixth rounder. I don't expect nothing out of him. He's also on his last year of his deal. You think Harry Roseman paying Quez Watkins if he has a great year? No, it's letting him walk. So if I'm Harry Roseman, do I think I solidified it? Am I satisfied at number three? I don't know. You brought a guy from the Falcons. What is he? Does anybody know who he is? I didn't know who he was. Yeah, he had some good years with the Falcons. What makes you think that he's going to come to Philadelphia and be that number three? You sign undrafted rookies. They don't make the team a lot of times. So I think you still need that number three. You didn't bring Pascal back. So when people say we don't need a number three, you don't know football. Because number three, I don't trust Quez. Quez is lazy with his route running. He doesn't know how to track a football. He's inconsistent with his tracking with catching the ball. He dropped the biggest touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. You think I'm going to trust my resources on Quez Watkins to be that guy? No, thank you. So when people say we don't need a number three, I think we do. And it's not I think we do need it because I don't think we solidified it. You brought a guy from the Falcons. Congratulations. The Eagles brought Ruben Randall in. Did it help them? No, it didn't. Just because you bring someone in does not make them something better. You got to go out and get the best player. And the name of the game in this league is to have a great defense. Defense do win championships, but also you need to be able to score as much points as possible because you're not going toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes and not be able to score points. Yeah, defense lost the game, but you know why we didn't also win the game? Also, because they outscored us. So when you look at the situation, you got to be on point with everything you do, leading in free agency, the draft, OTAs, our training camp. Everybody's like, well, let's go get a safety. It's not easy to call up the Cardinals and say, hey, we want Buda Baker. They're not going to do it. First of all, Buda Baker wants a lot of money. Y'all complain about paying DeAndre Hopkins a lot of money to come to Philadelphia. You're already complaining about him coming here. I'm not signing no 27-year-old safety. We got a safety, Sidney Brown. The Philadelphia Eagles are probably going to go sign John Johnson. That's my likely that I think they're going to do. DeAndre Hopkins has more of a chance coming to Philadelphia than Buda Baker. Just being real with you. People talk about we need to go get a linebacker. When does Howard Roseman ever go and trade for a linebacker? You let me know. Let me know when the Eagles have ever solidified a linebacker by going out and trading for one. We don't draft linebackers. We don't trade for linebackers. We don't believe in linebackers. Just the way it is. We don't take it seriously. Now, I love a linebacker, but what linebacker is available? Because I see a lot of Eagle fans that we need a linebacker. We just drafted Nolan Smith. We drafted Nakobe Dean. We signed our Nicholas Morals. I don't think the Eagles are going to go for another linebacker. I think they feel good where they are. I don't give a damn about the Giants. I don't care what they do in the draft. Sorry, I don't. So when I hear people tell me we don't need a number three, it bothers me because I don't trust Quez Watkins. And if I was the Eagles, I would trade him to the Colts. They got a new rookie quarterback over there. Shane Steichen's their head coach. Why not? He's on his last year of his deal. I don't care. Everybody told me Jalen Rager was going to show up. I hear the exact same thing for the last 4 to 5 years from Jalen Rager. I'm not waiting for Quez to develop. He had all this time to develop. And yes, he's a sixth rounder. But DeAndre Hopkins makes your football team better. Going to get DeAndre Hopkins at number 3. People tell me, well, he don't want to be at number 3. Well, he's not winning at number 1. Let me be real with you. DeAndre Hopkins is coming off a knee injury. He's coming off an MCL. No team is going to make him a number 1. If he goes to Baltimore, he's not a number 1 receiver over there. If he goes to Kansas City, Travis Kelce is the number 1 over there. If he goes to who else? Who else would go after him? That's a great football team. The Buffalo Bills, he'd be a number 2 over there. If he wants to be a number 1, then there's no team that's going to take him. Unless he goes to the Lions. Unless he goes to somewhere that's a garbage football team. Like the Bears, maybe. But they got DJ Moore over there. So he's always going to be a number 2, number 3. Kansas City's not going to pay all that money to go out and get Hopkins. I'd be shocked if they do. They didn't pay enough to keep Tyreek Hill. They're not going to spend a lot of money on DeAndre Hopkins. A lot of people are saying that he's not the same DeAndre Hopkins, which opens the doors for who? Howie Roseman. Why? Because he gets guys that everybody thinks is washed. And he brings them in and he revives them. And then they go sign big deals. Do you remember when everybody said we weren't going to get Alshon Jeffrey? You know, everybody lined up and said we had no shot at Alshon Jeffrey. He came to Philadelphia because he wanted to play with who? Carson Wentz at the time. Well, DeAndre Hopkins said he wanted to play with Jalen Hurts. He's officially released today. If you go to Kansas City, you're not the number 1 receiver. Travis Kelce is. Kelsey's always been that number 1 receiver for Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes said it on the National Football League TV, NFL Network, that he believes in his receivers. I don't think it's going to go to Kansas City. I don't think he goes to Kansas City. And why would you want to go to Kansas City? Knowing that you have the Bengals, who are stacked over there. You got the Bills over there that's stacked. You got the Dolphins that upgraded. They're still in the way. If they win a playoff game, they have a chance to versus the Kansas City Chiefs. You got a lot of stacked football teams. So going there doesn't make sense. If you're DeAndre Hopkins, you are going to go to the weakest conference, and that is the NFC East. Think about it. I love that everybody says the Eagles aren't shot. I heard that before. Never count out Howard Roseman. If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I go to Philadelphia. Why would you want to be the number 1 receiver? You haven't won nothing as a number 1 receiver. DeAndre Hopkins is never going to be the number 1 like he used to be. He's 31 years old. So people need to use their heads. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, you know, we're fine with Quez walking. No, y'all can think that. I'm not fine. See, I'm different than a lot of Eagle fans. I'm not going to sit there and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think we're solidified at number 3. I don't care what nobody thinks. Quez Walker's a bum to me. Dude can't run routes. Dude is inconsistent. Dude cannot catch a ball to save his life. And just because he caught one OTA pass does not make me feel confident in Quez Watkins to be the guy. Just sorry, I don't believe in him. One little OTA practice is no different than Jalen Rager catching a one-hand pass in OTAs or training camp. Does that make him something great? No, because he didn't do nothing. So when people say we don't need a number 3, I don't agree with you. And I'm here to tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. Because I don't think our number 3 is solidified. What did you do at number 3? You brought a guy from the Falcons. Congratulations. What makes you think that he's going to be that number 3 guy? Quez is not the number 3. Pascal took his job last year. Had more snaps than him. So when people tell me that we don't need a number 3 and Hopkins doesn't make sense, it makes sense perfectly. Because he's not going to be the number 1 guy. And if any team signs him, It's going to be a garbage football team that's going to make them the number one. If Hopkins wants to go for the money, he's going to go to Detroit. He's going to go somewhere where he's going to be that guy. But he also said he wants to win a ring. So if you are DeAndre Hopkins, you are at his age, 31 years old or 30 years old. You're coming off some knee injury. He just came off MCL surgery last year. You are not the same dude that you were. People talk about he's not the same guy that he was in Arizona or Houston. This is not the same DeAndre Hopkins. If you think you're going to get a number one receiver that's going to be that guy, you're not. You still will get a productive DeAndre Hopkins. And I still think he still could play, but he's not going to be that number one dude that he was. He's getting older. So if I'm DeAndre Hopkins, what would make me a better football player? It's going to the Eagles. People telling me that, well, AJ and Devontae might get upset. They're not going to get upset. They're professionals. They're professionals. If they didn't get upset last year because they were getting targets, getting less targets, and each of them had 1,000 yards, they weren't complaining one bit about how they weren't getting enough targets. They were happy. So stop it. I'm tired of that excuse. Well, no, DeAndre Hopkins don't want to be the number three. Well, he's not going to be the number one. Because if he goes to Kansas City, what makes you think he's going to be the number one? Travis Kelce's number one. If he goes to Baltimore, he's not going to be the number one. It's either going to be OBJ or Zay Flowers. Where's he going to go? Where? Where's he going to go to be that number one dude? Buffalo? They got Diggs over there. They still got the other dude, the other receiver from Buffalo. Where do you think he's going to go to? Where's he going to go to be that number one dude? I hear people tell me he wants to be the number one. Where's that at? Where is that at? Unless you want to go back to Arizona, where you could probably be the only number one over there. But he didn't want to be there. So to me, it's like, you don't want to be the number one dude then. Because when you're the number one dude, you go to crappy football teams. That's what happens. Unless you somehow get traded like A.J. Brown to a good football team. Where do you want to go? So when I hear people tell me that DeAndre Hopkins wants to be a number one, where's he going to go to? If you go to Kansas City, Travis Kelce is that number one dude. If you go to Baltimore, OBJ is that number one dude, or Zay Flowers, who they drafted. Where's he going to go to? The Falcons? People really don't want to win then. So where's he going to go to? Who? Who is going to take DeAndre Hopkins and pay him to be that number one receiver? I hear people tell me that he wouldn't want to be the number. He wanted not be the number three. Well, where's he going to go to? Anywhere you go, you are going to be the number three. The Kansas City Chiefs don't pay number one receivers. Why they let Tyreek Hill out the door? If they were going to pay someone, they would have paid Tyreek Hill that money. They couldn't afford him. They couldn't afford him, and they let him all go. So they're not going to pay for a 31-year-old that's coming off knee injury. He's coming off an MCL surgery. Look it up. People need to do their research, man. Stop saying the Eagles don't have a chance. We have more of a chance than Buffalo and Kansas City. We're just as of them getting DeAndre Hopkins as we are. What's stopping us from not going out and getting DeAndre? What makes you think Howard Rose is not interested? What? If they sign a bunch of free agents to help Quez, then they don't believe in Quez. Because if they had trust in Quez Watkins, they wouldn't brought these Falcon dude in. They wouldn't sign a bunch of free agent receivers to come in and compete with them. What makes you think that they have confidence in Quez? I don't think they're done. I don't care what nobody says. DeAndre Hopkins don't hurt this football team. And I love how everybody said, well, it wouldn't work. Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it? If you are an offense corner, you can't make that work, you should not be an offense corner in the league. If you cannot make sure everybody eats, if you cannot make DeAndre Hopkins successful with AJ and Devontae, you are trash, and you don't need to be an offense coordinator. Just being real with you. Because I've seen three number one receivers before on another football team, and they have made it work before. So people need to stop saying that. I'm thinking over 20 million per year. I'm not paying DeAndre Hopkins a lot of money. Listen, DeAndre Hopkins is not going to get that type of money that he's asking for. He's 31 years old. He's 31 years old. I think Howard Roseman is going to wait like he did with Steven Nelson. Remember Steven Nelson wanted a lot of money at first? Remember the reports? He wanted this type of money? No, you're not worth that type of money. You might be good, but you're not that worth that type of money. Who has the most cap space? The Eagles and the Bills. The Bills are not going to go after Hopkins. They got Diggs. They got Davis over there. They got Knox over there. They're fine. They're going to play with whatever they have. That's why they paid Diggs to be that number one dude. They're not going to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. There's only one team that I can see the Eagles going after, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. Because DeAndre Hopkins makes sense. If you put this in your mind and say it doesn't make sense, then you're only going to confuse yourself. Jalen Hurts still needs that number slot receiver. And you got Devontae Smith, who's that number one dude. AJ Brown is a number two. Why wouldn't you add another number one / number three over there? I don't see the problem with it. A lot of people say we wouldn't have enough targets. I disagree with that. Because each receiver last year, Devontae and AJ Brown had 1,000 yards of the year. All two of them had over 1K yards in reception. Devontae Smith was leading in targets. AJ Brown was leading in targets. Quez Watkins was getting opportunities when he wanted to catch. Pascal was getting targets. So when people say we can't do that, I disagree. I don't agree with that. I think you can make it work. And if you can't make it work, you should not be an offense corner. It's point blank simple. Let me get my boy Further AM on this channel, man. I want to hear what y'all like. Listen, like people are going to disagree with me. I disagree with that. I don't think the Eagles are done at receiver. Like a lot of people can say what they want. I don't agree with that. I think the Eagles need to go out and still get that number three. I think that DeAndre Hopkins would complete that. You are not only building for this year, but you want to make sure you're unstoppable. And you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Mm, my boy Further AM. There you go. So I mean, when people tell me we can't go out and get DeAndre Hopkins, or we don't need him, or he wouldn't want to come to be that number three, then where's it going to go? You're not going to go to Baltimore and be that number one. And if you're DeAndre Hopkins, you want to go to Baltimore? Let's keep it real. Has Lamar Jackson showed you he can win in the big games? I hear all this Lamar Jackson talk. You know what I'm saying? I hear all this Lamar Jackson talk. The man has won 2 playoff games. 2. And choked each. Matter of fact, as did he only win 2? He's won 2 and choked most of them. The guy's inconsistent. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I'm sorry. People can hype him all they want. They want somebody's MVP year. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I still think he doesn't know how to throw with accuracy. I don't think he has a strong arm like a lot of people think he is. I don't care how many receivers you get around him. Baker Mayfield had all these receivers. Yeah, he's going to get them the ball. I don't care how many receivers you get for him. He hasn't showed it. And it showed last year when he was inconsistent. If you fluster him out the pocket, he's not going to do nothing. So it is what it is, man. I think Jalen Hurts can win with DeAndre Hopkins. I think he can win with AJ Brown. I think he can win with Devontae Smith. I think he can make it all work. You got a quarterback that can deliver balls to each and every player to make them happy. I'm sure if DeAndre Hopkins wants to be that number one dude, he will go to a bad football team. If he wants to be that number one guy, then he's not going to go to Kansas City. He's not going to go to Buffalo. They already got number one guys over there. Kelsey and Diggs are already on that team. You got Baltimore who just brought OBJ. I mean, everybody wants to talk about DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Brown, Devontae, but then you would go to Baltimore and you have the same situation. So please explain to me why would he not go to Philadelphia? If he's thinking about Baltimore being a good destination, then come on. They already got receivers over there. I don't think they need another one. You telling me that Zay Flowers and OBJ and Duvalier is not a better receiving core right there? Come on, man. Like people need to stop saying that the Eagles shouldn't be interested in DeAndre. We shouldn't go get him. Oh, well, he would destroy the locker room. How would he destroy the locker room? How? Y'all need to stop saying that shit. That shit irritating. That really is. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That we don't need a number three. Y'all trust Quez because I don't. Good luck with that. You can believe all you want on Quez Watkins. I know what he is. It's not consistent. And he's on his last year of his deal. Wouldn't be surprised if we trade him. Honestly, I wouldn't. Don't get hype over Quez. This dude can get traded. You know what I'm saying? We all heard about, Jalen Rager's going to show up. I mean, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. When people tell me we don't need a number three, I disagree. I don't think you solidified it. Maybe people want to sit there and want to bleed Quez Watkins. I don't. I want to give him another chance. I think he stinks. I don't think he's consistent enough. I don't think he has better hands. And I think DeAndre Hopkins makes you a complete 1 and 2 and 3 punch. You'll be unstoppable if you have DeAndre Hopkins. If he wants a lot of money, then he needs to go somewhere where he can get that money because the Eagles are not going to pay him a lot of money, which I understand. But people say we don't have a chance. Disagree. I disagree. We have more of a chance than any other team right now, too. We have the most cap space. We still need a number three. I don't think we solidified it. And DeAndre Hopkins is 31 years old, coming off a knee injury. Who's going to pay him top money? No one. If he goes to AFC East, he's AFC West, he has a 40% chance of winning. I'm just being real with you. If he goes to the AFC, he has a 40% chance of winning. Kansas City won last year, but look how of a struggle they had to get there. They weren't the number one seed. So they're playing against the Bengals, the Buffalo Bills. That's a hard division. That's a hard conference. They got guys at their necks. So to me, going to Philadelphia makes more sense than any other team right now because it's the clearest path to winning the Super Bowl. Why would you go to Buffalo? What have they showed you? They choke. That's just me being real with you. People are going to disagree with me. I don't care. I don't care what people think. You got to get the best player available. To me, it's DeAndre Hopkins. It's no brainer. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are going to get mad at me. We don't care. I don't like Quez Watkins. I don't like him. I don't think he's consistent. I don't think he's a good player in general. I would trade Quez. And I'd bring DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins has played in this slot before. He played in Houston before. Go look it up. DeAndre Hopkins has played in the slot. I've seen him play in the slot. So when people say he's not a slot receiver, that's stupid because he has played in the slot before. It's not his future role, but he can learn to play in the slot. I don't think it's all about the money. I don't. I think he's asking for it for a team like the Lions to pay him. Because listen, when you're a top free agent, you're going to want a lot of money because you're on the last of your deal. But it's going to come down. Now, I guarantee the Eagles are going to be one of those teams going to get him. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't care what nobody thinks. Bringing DeAndre Hopkins is a great move in my opinion. I don't care what nobody thinks. It's it, it's not about just bringing the guy in. Everybody want to make a big deal. I mean, if you can't work out DeAndre Hopkins, you can't make them all eat, then you should not be an offense corner. You should not be a head coach. You should not be nothing, bro. Just being real with you. And I think we have a better chance than any other team right now. What does Howie got Hopkins and Bosa? What is Howie got? Hopkins and Bosa. What do you mean Bosa? Bosa ain't coming here. Dude, you got to trade for them. Hopkins is a free agent. He's officially released. Everybody's saying go get Buda Baker. How are you going to get him? You can't just. It's not like people don't understand. We have a better chance of Landon Hopkins than Buda Baker. Buda Baker wants a lot of money. Buda Baker's 27 years old. Buda Baker's you still got to get compensation up. You got to get draft capital up. People talk about we need to go get linebacker. What linebackers out there? This is the point where I understand with a lot of Eagle fans. We don't believe in linebackers. Did we draft one in this year at all in this draft? Except Nolan Smith. We don't believe in linebackers. We don't trade for them. We don't usually go out and draft them. So why in the hell, all of a sudden, that Howie Roseman would go out and trade for a linebacker? If there's a move that Howie Roseman would make, it would go and sign DeAndre Hopkins. Because I don't think they believe in Quez Watkins. Because if they believed in Quez Watkins, they wouldn't have got him competition. They would have made him the guy already. Pascal beat him out of his job last year. That's why he got more snaps than him. He's not showed he can be that guy. So when people tell me we don't need a number 3, I disagree. How can you say that? What makes you think we don't need a number 3? Because we signed a Falcon free agent receiver? What is he? Who is he? I haven't heard of him. I had to look him up. He's okay. But what makes you think he's going to make the team? You signed a bunch of undrafted receivers. Big deal. DeAndre Hopkins is not just a number 3. He's a game changer. Because he's not going to be the only guy that they're going to have to focus. If you add DeAndre Hopkins with this Eagles team, you got to focus on AJ, Devontae, and Hopkins. How you stopping that? People are always struggling with AJ and Devontae. While Quez was always open, he just dropped the ball. DeAndre Hopkins ain't dropping that ball. DeAndre Hopkins is 31 years old coming off an knee injury. You think he's going to get top money? I don't think so. I think he lands at Philadelphia. I do. I truly believe that we have a chance at any other team right now. I don't care what nobody says. He's not going to go to Kansas City because Kansas City already has Travis Kelce. And Patrick Mahomes said yesterday that he believes in his receivers already. So DeAndre Hopkins going to Kansas City is to me a more of a less chance than the Eagles getting him. Because I don't think they need a number 1 receiver. They got Travis Kelce over there. And if they trade Tyreek Hill, why would they go out and pay a high top money for DeAndre Hopkins? Makes no sense. They also got to sign a lot of players this year. The Baltimore Ravens are not going to get him. People talk about well, the Ravens might want him. Why would he go to the Ravens? Let's look at it. OBJ's over there. If you're going to be the number 1 receiver over there, you already lost that. OBJ's over there. OBJ is going to be their number 1. Or he's going to be their number 2. Zay Flowers, they did draft. Do not sleep on him. Dude was a beast in Boston College. People talk about Zay Flowers not being. Zay Flowers is a beast. He's the number 1 pick for a reason. They drafted him in the first round. So when people say that he going to Baltimore, I don't know how you could say that. Because he would be a number 3. Was he going to go to Buffalo? Diggs is over there. Davis is over there. You got Knox over there. Where's he going to fit? If you ask me, the Bills need a running back more than a receiver. They will be more of an interest in going to get Dalvin Cook than DeAndre Hopkins. Now, could they go out and get DeAndre Hopkins? Absolutely. But if you're DeAndre Hopkins, do you want to go to the AFC what's going to be stacked? If you want a chance at winning the championship, are you going to go somewhere where you might have to play against the best? Because the AFC is stacked over there. I don't know if I'm DeAndre Hopkins. I want to go somewhere like Kansas City, where, yeah, I might play with the best quarterback, and they just did win a Super Bowl recently, but you saw other teams got better this year. The Dolphins revamped their whole defense to stop who? Mahomes. To win a division. Think about it. Are you going to go somewhere like the Lions? What? Why? DeAndre, everybody's about well, he might go to Houston. Why would he go back home? He just got traded from Houston just a while ago. And Houston's a bad football team. Are you going to be at 31 years old? Are you going to go back to Houston? If you want to go to Houston, you're not want to win a Super Bowl because Houston's not ready. If you're DeAndre Hopkins, where do you want to go? Is he want to win a ring? Does he want to be? If he wants to be about the money, then he's not coming to Philadelphia. But if he wants to win a ring, you go to Philadelphia because Kansas City already has Kelsey over there. That is their number one receiver. You got Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens got Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers. Those are going to be the number one and number two combination over there. You got Duvernay over there. I think so. So you got receivers over there in Baltimore. They don't need DeAndre Hopkins. They're stacked over there. Then you look at the Eagles, right? AJ Devontae, okay. Who's their number three? Y'all talk about Quez Watkins. What's Quez show you? I'm sorry. What are people smoking that told me that Quez Watkins was going to be elite? He showed flashes when he wants to. He also can't run routes properly. We've seen him not trying to come back to the ball. He waits for the ball to come to him. He's inconsistent with catching. I could have catch that ball in the Super Bowl. It was not a hard catch to make. I don't know about you, but he's on his last year of his deal. I would not be shocked the Eagles trade him. I would not be shocked. You can get much value. You can get as much value right now than you will next year because next year he's going to walk for nothing. So trade him. Quez Watkins hasn't shown me nothing. I don't believe in him. He's another inconsistent sixth rounder that everybody hypes up. Quez Watkins is going to have to play. Play for who? If I get DeAndre Hopkins, he's sitting on that damn bench. Listen, I don't give a damn about Quez feelings. This ain't the Philadelphia Quez Watkins. And I feel like people need to understand, once again, this is not the Philadelphia Quez Watkins. It's not about the name on the player's jersey. It's about the team logo. It's about the helmet that represent. I don't care about Quez. If DeAndre Hopkins is available, bet me if I'm the GM, I'm going to go out and get him. If he wants to come back, he wants to win the Super Bowl, I'm making that move. If they believed in Quez Watkins, do you think they would go out and try to go and get a free agent receiver? Do you think they would go out and try to get undrafted receivers? They're interested in Julio Jones. So to me, when I hear all these rumors, they're not done at receiver. Howie Roseman's playing a waiting game. Remember when Steven Nelson with all that money and the Eagles waited and they said, we're not paying you that money. You need to come down lower. And he eventually came down to what? A 1-year deal. Then what? He went to a better team, got more money. That's the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins, I feel. I feel like he's going to lower his price, and that's when Howard Roseman strikes. You think Howard Roseman is paying him all that money? He's not. I know that. No team is going to pay him what he wants. He's 31 years old. He's coming off a knee injury. Why everybody's screaming he's going to want to be that number one? Where's he going to be that number one at? I guess maybe Houston. What? You going to go back to Houston? Then you really don't want to win. He said he wants to win a ring. So where are you going to be the number one? Detroit, maybe. They're not ready to win the Super Bowl. I don't care what CJ says. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not a Super Bowl football team. They're not ready. I don't care what their defense is. Listen, the Detroit Lions remind me of the Browns. Remember all the hype they heard about? Oh, look at all these free agents. Where did they go? Where did they go? Nowhere. They went home. They remind me of the Browns. You sign all these free agents. Whoopie-doo. I wish CJ nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? But the Eagles don't draft linebackers. They don't trade for linebackers. You're not trading for a safety. You just drafted Sidney Brown, who's a second rounder, I believe. So where are we going to get these imaginary safeties? I think the best option would be going inside Johnson, the free agent, that safety out there. He's still out there. Maybe you bring him in. But there's a more chance of DeAndre Hopkins coming to Philadelphia than train for Buda Baker. When people tell me we needed to draft a linebacker, we did. We drafted Nakobe Dean. We went and signed Morals. Those are your linebackers. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. We don't draft linebackers. We don't trade for linebackers. I don't know where Eagle fans get the idea. You have a better chance of landing DeAndre Hopkins than you do than getting a trade for a linebacker. When you seen the Eagles trade for a safety that wants a lot, Buda Baker's not coming to Philadelphia unless he gets released. And he wants a lot of money. He wants more money than DeAndre Hopkins. He wants also a new deal. I'm not paying a 27-year-old a new deal. Because if you pay him you pay him that money, by the time he's going to be on the contract, he's going to be 30 years old. No. I'd rather draft the safety, and that's what we did. We went out and drafted Sidney Brown to be that guy. You signed Terrell Emmons. People are sleeping on Terrell Emmons. Do not sleep on him. He is a good football player. He will not be joining the Pittsburgh Steelers and being a starter. Tomlin does not throw out guys who are not good. He's a very good player. He could have taken more money with the Steelers, but he signed a one-year deal because he wants to win. A guard, we get injury. What guard is going to come into Philadelphia, though? I think the Eagles are fine at guard. Now we're just saying offensive line. Okay, you go and get a free agent offensive lineman. But we signed undrafted offensive linemen this year. You could start one of them. You got Jeff Stoutland. For the AM, I send you the link, man, if you want to come in and talk. Because you're telling me we don't need DeAndre Hopkins. I disagree with that. DeAndre Hopkins is a better football player than Quez Watkins. Is that a false statement or a true statement? Who is a better upgrade? Quez Watkins or DeAndre Hopkins? DeAndre. And when people tell me he wants to be the number one, where's he going to go to? You're not going to Kansas City and being the number one dude. Travis Kelce already has that role. He's that number one on that offense. You're going to go to Buffalo? They already got Diggs over there. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to stop saying we don't need a number three. I hate that. You believe in Quez? Wait, so you trust Quez? I don't trust Quez. I don't think he's consistent enough. I don't think he has it. I think he's inconsistent with his route running. We've seen this guy not come back for the ball. I'm all for signing DeAndre Hopkins. And I think there's a better chance of him landing in Philadelphia than in Baltimore or on these other teams. Everybody says we don't have a chance, and I love it. Because that means we have a better chance than any other team. When someone says we do not have a chance, I love it. I love it because that means we're definitely have a chance. The Eagles got the most cap space. And this is amazing because Hopkins follows Jalen Hurts on IG. If Jalen Hurts says, Howie, go give me Hopkins, it will happen. Why did A.J. Brown come to Philadelphia? What made him come to Philadelphia? Social media. We didn't hear anything about A.J. Brown until what? A little bit down the road. So, DeAndre Hopkins, to me, is a very much of a possibility of coming to Philadelphia than any other team right now. Because he's a better chance of winning right now on this Eagles team than going to Kansas City, where you have a stacked AFC. You got the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills. Why would you go there? You got a better chance of coming to Philadelphia and being on a Super Bowl team that just went to the Super Bowl and being at number three. Because if you're the number one dude, you're not the number one guy anymore. You showed what you did in Arizona. And you didn't progress. You got injured. You're coming off a knee injury. Why would you want to risk that? You got more of a chance to come to Philadelphia and proving you can be that number three. Because listen, let me tell you something. If he comes to Philadelphia, he's going to get more money next year. If he goes somewhere like Detroit to be that number one dude, not only is he not going to win nothing, yeah, he'll be the number one guy, but he will not get the same production. He will not get the same production, and his value goes down. You need the best quarterback to throw you the ball. You're not going to go somewhere like a garbage football team. You're not going to go somewhere like the AFC, because you want to win a ring. Well, Kansas City has a tough division. They got a tough conference. They got the Bengals in their way. The Bengals loaded up this year. They gotten better. two are watching, you're talking to yourself. Well, then get the hell off my channel. I'll be one. Fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I talk to myself all the time. Thank you for joining. Troll. So when two are watching, you talking to yourself. I don't care though. People are gonna be watching me afterwards anyway. But thank you for joining. And while you watching, you made it one person. So I appreciate you for watching me. Don't care. Who bro, I don't care. I don't care really. I appreciate you for watching though. And you can definitely, if you want, you don't have to, but subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate you giving me the views. But thank you for two for people. So you must be one of them that were watching me. I appreciate though. No, I had nothing but the respect for you because you found your day to try to troll and you watched me. So I must not me talking myself because you're on my channel. Mm, 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 mm. Didn't think that one, did you? I don't do live streams to get people's opinions. I mean, I don't do live streams to have people like my channel. I talk any way you look at it. I'm gonna say how I feel. And whether people watch me or they don't, I don't give a rat's ass. So the fact that you watch me, you took your day and time to come out and say something. So the two person must be you and someone else. So I'm really talking to myself, really? I don't think so. But thank you for coming on. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. Hit that like button too, guys. For the two people watching. Yeah, two people watching. You're talking to yourself. Man, shut up. Shut up. Why you on my channel? If I'm so boring, then you should be walking your little ass that way. Go somewhere where they're gonna rub dicks with each other. Tell us we don't need a number 3. Oh yeah, Quez Watkins showed a lot. Get the fuck out of here. Quez Watkins is a bum. If I had my choice, I would trade his ass to Indianapolis. He's inconsistent. You got a lot of idiots on Twitter. That's why I don't go on Twitter or Instagram that much anymore. I've been trying to stay off of it, but it's hard because I want to respond. What's up, my boy Bobby? Bobby, I can send you the link anytime, man. Send you the link, man. If you want to come on and talk. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of trolls telling me, oh, we don't need DeAndre Hopkins. Man, what world do you live in? We do need him. What? Stop saying we don't need him. I hate that. We do need him. We don't have a number 3. Quez Watkins is a bum. Bum. He's inconsistent. He doesn't know how to run routes. What number 3 do we like? Come on. I think number 3 is more important than a linebacker. Because we're not drafting a lot. We don't trade for linebackers. I need the Eagle fans to stop saying that. We drafted a linebacker. Nolan Smith was your linebacker. You got linebackers on this football team. You drafted Nakobe Dean before that. The Eagles are not trained for a linebacker. You drafted safety. You're not trained for Buda Baker. You got Terrell Emmons. You got the other dude that was playing last year, the undrafted guy. You got Sidney Brown. You're not trained. You're not trained for Buda Baker. So who? Like, come on. People just don't know what they're talking about. They want to hear what they want to hear, not the truth. Well, I feel like we're wrong. Well, I don't care what you feel like. I feel like we need a number 3. I'm not solidified with Quez Watkins. Quez is a bum. He's inconsistent. He doesn't show consistent. And I need consistent more than inconsistent. I don't care how much speed you have. John Ross had all that speed, and where he's end up. Where did he end up? You can have all that speed you want. You can't run routes properly. You're not efficient with catching the football. Then you don't need to be in the league. He's dropped crucial footballs. One of them was a Super Bowl. He's made plenty of mistakes because he catch one OTA practice when no one was covering him. I'm supposed to jump up and down and say, oh yeah, Quez is back. Nah, man, get the hell out of here. Say them pom-poms for someone else, not me. You need DeAndre Hopkins on this football team. You need a number 3. DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be the number 1 like he thinks he is. And if he thinks he's number 1, he needs to go with a bad football team. Like Houston. They need a number 1 over there. He's not going to go to Kansas City, be that number 1. Kelsey's over there. The Bills over there. They already had Diggs and Davis. Lamar Jackson has enough weapons. So I look at it as DeAndre Hopkins has a better chance coming to Philadelphia than going to Baltimore because we had the most cap space. I don't think we're solidified at number three, like a lot of people think we are. And I don't care about Quez's feelings. I want to win a championship. I want to win a Super Bowl. And DeAndre Hopkins gives me that. He provides that. And he would be a very good number three. He can play in the slot. We've seen him in Houston do that. So when people say we don't need a number three, I disagree. I don't think we solidified at number three. Quez has shown me nothing. Pascal took his job last year. He got more snaps than him. You brought a free agent Falcon receiver. Congratulations. Big deal. We need more of a number three receiver. Then we're going to get we're not trained for a linebacker. We don't believe in linebackers. If the Eagles believe in linebackers, don't you think we would draft one this year? Don't you think that? Do you think that we would have made a trade by now if we believed in linebackers? We did get a linebacker though. Nolan Smith was the linebacker. That's your only linebacker you're probably going to ever get. So get used to it. Buda Baker's not coming to Philly unless he's not coming to Philly. You got Terrell Minshew signed. You signed another safety, the Saints/Buccaneer safety. They filled safety already. So when people say we need to go get Buda Baker, you can't just go up and get someone. You got to give up compensation. You got to give him a new contract because he wants to get paid. And Arizona might not want to trade him. So I'm not trading for Buda Baker. He's 27 years old. We drafted a young safety. Sidney Brown is going to be that safety. As much as I didn't want him at the time, I like the kid because of his hard work on the field. I hope he produces because he's a second rounder. They addressed those things. They did not address the offense, which is the receiver. DeAndre Hopkins makes sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. People just don't like it. They don't want it to happen. People are afraid of him messing up the chemistry. What chemistry? We got strong leaders in the locker room. We can handle DeAndre Hopkins. If we can draft Jalen Carter and be okay with it, then I don't see the problem with going out and signing DeAndre Hopkins. I don't see the problem with that. Because if you didn't have guys that can lead or guys who are not locker room cancers, then you wouldn't go out and get a Jalen Carter. Because according to everybody, he was a locker room cancer or he was a problem off the field. And yet you drafted him. So when I hear people say DeAndre Hopkins will mess up the whole locker room, I disagree. The A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith don't care about getting the football. Yeah, they do, but they also care about winning. And they know they're not going to get the football a lot anyway because we run the football most of the time. So please stop with the excuses. Just say you don't like him. Just say you don't like DeAndre Hopkins. You don't like him. Stop saying we don't need him because that's BS. Quez is a bum. What made you think Quez Watkins is good? Because he caught one football? Because he made one play? He's also dropped a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He's also dropped another potential touchdown against the Commanders. He's dropped in multiple passes, one against Dallas. He doesn't come back for routes. He doesn't come back to the ball. He waits for the ball to come to him. He's a bum. He's a sixth-round receiver. He's not a number one guy. He's not a number two. He's not a number three. He's a bum. He's on his last year of his deal. I would trade him. I'm serious. So I don't know where this Quez Watkins hype from, but I don't believe in him. He's a bum. Go get me DeAndre Hopkins. I'm dead serious. We need him. Because when you're versus a good football team, you need firepower. We need DeAndre Hopkins. People say we don't need him. What are you talking about? Quez is a bum. The guys you sign are not enough. Guys go down. You need that guy that can step up. DeAndre Hopkins is not going to get number one top money. He's not going to be the number one for any other team unless he goes to a trash football team, which I seriously doubt he would want to go back to because he just came from that. So it opens the door for the Eagles to get him. They have a better shot than any other team right now. You know what I'm saying? Where's he going to go to? Buffalo? They already got Diggs. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like people want to talk about. I believe in Quez. Well, that's you. I don't. I think it stinks. I think it's horrible. I don't think it's inconsistent. I think it's inconsistent with his route running. He isn't showed enough. He's not. He's not. He's not a reliable target, and he hasn't done nothing. You need your players to come up in big moments, and he doesn't. I hear all the excuses. Well, we don't use him enough because he's a bum. Why would I throw to him if I'm Jalen Hurts? He drops the fucking pass. He's a bum. He's a sixth-round receiver. I don't expect nothing out of him. I don't think he's a star. Just being real with you. Go give me the star receiver that can be a compliment to AJ and Devontae, and that's Hopkins. Hopkins is not the Hopkins he used to be, but he catches that ball. I guarantee you that. He doesn't drop many. You can play him in the slot. It's not that difficult. And if Volk's corner can't make that work, he should not be hired. Because if you cannot make Devontae and AJ and Hopkins all eat, then there's something wrong with you. You either not doing your job properly, or you just suck at your job because there's no way other to explain it. You should be able to make everything work. You got all season to work on that. So DeAndre Hopkins coming to Philadelphia does not destroy the locker room. It does not destroy anybody else from not getting the ball. People talk about, well, Devontae might get upset. So what? So what? Get over it. You're a professional. You're not a child. I don't need your approval when you want to get the ball. Get the hell open then. And Devontae gets open. And I don't think Devontae cares whether he gets the ball or not. He wants to win. I mean, I'm sure he cares, but he doesn't care like a lot of people think over extent. Where if he don't get the ball, he's going to throw a tantrum. He's not that type of guy. I hate when people say we don't need a number three. Stop it. Stupid, man. Stupid idiots like that don't know what they're talking about. Quest is a bum. Get rid of him. I would trade his ass to Indianapolis. They got a new quarterback over there, and Shane Steichen is their head coach over there. Perfect match. Why would he go to Kansas City? Travis Kelce's already over there. And Mahomes said he don't need nobody else. They're not going to go after him. Makes no sense, man. I agree. We need a number three after AJ and Smith. A big drop. Exactly. I hate when people tell me, well, why would Hopkins want to be a number three? He want to be a number one. Where's he going to be the number one at? If he goes to Buffalo, Diggs is already there. Come on, use your head. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Eagle fans just want to say shit. Just say you don't like DeAndre Hopkins. Just say that. Stop saying we don't need him because that's false. We need a number three. Quest doesn't solidify nothing. You bring a free agents, guys. Oh, big deal. You brought Ruben Randall in before. How did that work out? It's because you bring a free agent does not make you simply better. DeAndre Hopkins is proven he can play at a high level. He's not this number one guy that he used to be, but you add him, you're making your receivers better. Because guess what? Now they only got to focus on AJ and Devontae. It opens up for opportunities like DeAndre Hopkins to get the ball. Because who are going to be focused on? AJ and Devontae are going to be the guys that are going to be focused on. So who does that open for? Hopkins. So why wouldn't he not want to come here? He also said he wanted to play with Jalen Hurts. And then after that, he follows Jalen Hurts on IG, and Jalen Hurts follows him recently on IG. When there's smoke, there's fire. And I love where everybody's not including this, but you don't sign agents out of nowhere. The fact that DeAndre Hopkins signed a new agent tells me one thing, that his agent was crappy, but number two, he signed to a Devontae Smith agent. I think people are not looking at that as a clue. I look at it as a clue. Why would you sign to the Pacific agent as a receiver that you named one of the quarterbacks that you wanted to play with, that he's on that team? DeAndre Hopkins, to me, is pointing signs that he might want to be playing in Philadelphia. It makes more sense of him coming to the NFC East than going to the AFC. Just being real with you. What's good, AK? What's good, man? Yeah, I mean, Chris Walker's show nothing. He's a bum. People need to stop overhyping him. Some people are like just like being assholes. Exactly. I don't think they're assholes. I just don't think they know what they're talking about because they got a platform on their YouTube channel. They think they suddenly know what they talk about. I got all these idiots who think they have a platform. Say, well, I believe in Quest. Well, you believe in Quest because you don't know what you're talking about. To be real, because Quest didn't show me nothing. Y'all can believe in Quest with all the hype you want. If they believed in Quest, they wouldn't go out and get free agent receivers to compete with them. Just being real with you. So to me, DeAndre Hopkins has a better chance in Philadelphia than any other team, unless he goes to the Giants. And why would he want to play with Daniel Jones? If you're 31 years old, you're going to go somewhere where you're going to be successful. You're not going to go to AFC, because yeah, Mahomes is over there. He's a good quarterback, but you're not going to be the number one dude anywhere you go. And now that you got a stacked AFC over there, you want to go somewhere where it's going to be easy to win. This conference in MC is weak. I don't care who you put. The 49ers are garbage. They're garbage. I don't think what they did or anything above what the Eagles did. Everybody talk about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, if he comes back, Brock Purdy's a bum. Stop it, man. Purdy's a bum. Purdy's a bum. Darnold's a bum. The whole 49ers team's a bum. The jokes of a franchise, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I feel like the Eagles need to go out and get a number 3. And I feel like DeAndre Hopkins is in play for the Eagles. The Eagles are not going to give him what he wants. So they're going to wait. It's a waiting game with me. It's a winning game with Howard Roseman. He doesn't right away sign guys. And this reminds me of the Steven Nelson situation. That he doesn't get what he wants at first. He's going to demand top money, but he's eventually going to lower his price. And someone's going to be like the Eagles who are going to pick him up. Why would he go to Buffalo? What has Josh Allen done to even want to go to Buffalo? The man's a choke artist over there. Sorry, bro. I have no voice anymore. I retired. No, you didn't, man. I wasn't talking about you. I haven't watched you in a while, so I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about these big ass platforms like the radio stations. You got some of these guys, not on ATD radio, but a lot of other ATD radios. You know, the Rob Ellis, these guys, the JK Media guys. Talk about we don't need receiver. You got all these jabronis on Twitter, like Ellie Short Park saying we don't need one. Idiots, guys on Twitter telling me, "Well, I don't think we don't need him. We don't need him." Yeah, we do. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who says we don't need a number 3, more power to you, because I don't think we're satisfied at number 3. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles signed DeAndre Hopkins. You have a better chance of that happening than trading for Buda Baker, which everybody wants. Dude, we just drafted a safety. Why the hell would we sign Buda Baker? As a matter of fact, why would we trade for him? The only way he comes to Philadelphia if, maybe a 4th round pick. The Cardinals are going to at least want a 1st rounder. He's still a high profile safety. He's 27 years old. They're going to want at least a 2nd in the early 1st. So I'm not trading for Buda Baker, man. We don't need him. You know what I'm saying? AK, you cool with me. I have no issue with you. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody says we don't need DeAndre Hopkins, what world do you live in? DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be the number 1 anywhere he goes unless he goes to the bum team. And he's coming off a knee injury. People do not understand. He's coming off an MCL surgery, knee repair. He's coming off a knee injury. There's also rumors going around that he might not be the same DeAndre Hopkins. So he's definitely not going to get a top money like he's asking for. And it opens the door for the Eagles. Because the Eagles, what do they love to do? They give guys opportunities. Guys that everybody said fall off the cliff. They give guys. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for everybody saying the Eagles will have a chance, I love it. I love it. Because to me, it has a better chance of happening than any other team right now. With the most cap space. But you know what? It is what it is. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not going to cry over it. But I think it needs to be addressed still. I'm not comfortable with Quez there. I'm not comfortable with Zacchaeus there. I'm not comfortable with undrafted guys you brought. You still need that number 3 guy. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is better than any other receiver we brought in. You know what I'm saying? People talk about, well, he might not be happy. Well, if he's not happy, then where's he going to go to? Well, if you're not happy in Philadelphia, then you don't want to win. You're not going to be the number one dude. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't do YouTube anything anymore. I have an idea of what people are saying. I think you should do YouTube, man. I liked your channel, man. You know what I'm saying? You were cool. I don't know why you stopped. You know what I'm saying? You can do YouTube and just, once in a while upload. You know, maybe you come back for the season. Maybe we'll get AK for the season. But hey, I wish you nothing but the best, man. I don't usually do YouTube. I've been taking a break for a while because frankly, I ain't got time for idiots, man. You got people on Twitter actually telling me that we don't need a number 3. You just watched the Super Bowl of Quest dropping the ball. We complained about a number 3. How many Eagle fans would talk about drafting a receiver? And now we got DeAndre Hopkins on available. We don't want him? So wait, you rather draft a rookie receiver? Come on, man. The dumb shit that I hear from some of these Eagle fans is blasphemous. It makes no sense to me how they can talk out their ass and sit there and say Quez Watkins, who showed you absolutely nothing, can't get separation, has all the speed in the world, but like a speed doesn't mean nothing. It means dilly squat. You got to be consistent, and the guy's not consistent. You brought Zacchaeus, congratulations. Who is he? He played for the Falcons, congratulations. That's not enough to me. DeAndre Hopkins is in need, in my opinion. You're not trading for the linebacker. So people say, well, we need a linebacker. What linebacker is a free agent? Which one? Because if we're trading for one, we're not trading for one. So you can get that out of your head right now. We don't trade for linebackers. We don't draft linebacker. When have you seen the Eagles trade for linebacker? When is the last time have you seen the Eagles trade for elite linebacker? Let me know. You got a lot of idiots talking about we need a linebacker. We do have linebacker. Kobe Dean was a linebacker. We drafted him. You drafted Nolan Smith. Plays linebacker somewhat. You got other linebackers you brought in, like Nicholas Morals. So stop it. Stop it. It's not happening. DeAndre Hopkins is more realistic than anything you're putting out. Okay, man. I appreciate you even watching my channel. Shout out to you, AK. For sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you want to clap for one time, and you don't have to be all-time YouTuber, but anytime you want to clap, hey, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately it's sad, man. I don't really know him. You know what I'm saying? But I heard what happened, man. Listen, that's upsetting, man. I praise up to his family, man. I wish nothing but the best for his family, and my condolences to them. I wish nothing. No, I wish nobody. He died at a young age. I don't know how old he was, but I don't know what happened. It's not my business. But I heard about it. It's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but I look at a lot of people, and I say a lot of things, and I don't understand it. That's why I have a channel, because I talk about things that need to be addressed. The Philadelphia Eagles need a number 3. And I hate when people say we don't need it. We were talking about drafting a receiver. All these Eagle fans were talking about, well, let's draft Zay Flowers. Let's draft this guy. Let's draft this guy. But now you get a chance to have a free agent Pro Bowler in your hands. You don't want him. Well, it might destroy the chemistry. Right? What chemistry? Bro, we have a bunch of leaders in the locker room. See, that's why people don't watch the game. They must not watch the games. Because not one of our receivers demanded the ball and sat and pouted. Okay? These guys are leaders. They want to win. And if you bring DeAndre Hopkins, I'm sure AJ and Devontae will not have an issue with it. But people love to overreact, man. Just say you don't like Hopkins. That's all you got to say to me. Stop making excuses saying we don't need him, because we do. I don't think our number 3 position's filled. Everybody talk about Julio Jones. Man, dude's washed. Stop it. The dumb shit out here, man. Stupid shit like that don't make sense. Julio Jones has been washed, man. It's not the same Julio. Well, he could teach these guys. Well, so you bring Hopkins in. He could teach these guys too. Devontae still can learn from a guy like Hopkins. Hopkins still can provide insight to these guys. Maybe he can teach Quez Watkins how to get separation. Just saying. Maybe Quez needs to sit out. He's on his last year of his deal. And that opens the door for him to might be traded. I would not be shocked that Eagles trade Quez Watkins before the regular season. Why do I say that? Because I think there's more opportunities for other guys to step up than Quez. I think Quez Watkins burned his bridge last year. I do. I don't take nothing that Nick Sirianni and Howard Roseman said about, well, we believe in Quez. No, they don't. They're going to tell you that. But their actions says something different. They told you all offseason that Jalen Reagor was going to be on the football team. They weren't going to trade him. And they traded him. They said all offseason that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was going to be on that football team. And they traded him. So believe nothing that comes out these GM's mouth. Believe nothing these coaches say. They're trying to tell you what you want to hear. Because they're not going to tell you what they're going to do. And, when I listen to Howard Roseman, he was talking about he wants the confetti on the ground. So best believe if Hopkins comes available and he lowers his price, the Eagles are going to go after him. I have no doubt in my mind they will go after him. He's an upgrade over Quez. But people don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? They love to talk about just trading for a safety. That's not happening. So go play Madden. Because you have a better chance of getting DeAndre Hopkins than you do Budda Baker or going out and getting Patrick Queen or Devin White. We drafted a linebacker. It's Nakobe Dean's time. Eagles don't believe in linebackers. This is the way it is. That's not the bread and butter. So, it is what it is. So if Hopkins doesn't come here, would you take Julio Jones over Quez? My problem with Julio Jones is this, right? Is Julio Jones... Here's my problem with Julio Jones, dude. It's like, Julio Jones is not going to be able to stay healthy. So if you're going to bring a guy that's going to help these receiving core, why not bring DeAndre Hopkins in? If DeAndre doesn't want to be number one, what makes you think Julio Jones don't want to be a number one? He's always been a number one in Atlanta. He was a number one in Tennessee. AJ was a number two, really. So again, Brennan Julio Jones, he was also a number one, I believe, in Tampa Bay. No, number two, excuse me, because Evans was there. So, I wouldn't bring Julio Jones. He's washed. He's old. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is 30, but Julio Jones is older than that. And Julio Jones is not the same Julio Jones. DeAndre Hopkins has a better chance of coming in there, teaching these young guys, and producing. I don't believe none of these reports that he can't do what he did. I think that's all crap. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals put that out. I'm going to say this. When people tell me that DeAndre Hopkins is washed, I watched him last year. I watched his highlights this year, and I saw him get open. So to me, when the Cardinals do that, it's so they can scare people away. Because according to them, he lost their trust or he did something that they didn't like. So of course they're going to say what they want you to believe. But I believe DeAndre Hopkins has more capability for starting for a football team. Maybe not as a number one, but still can play at a number three and be that productive guy. I believe that he will not be the same Hopkins that he was, but he still can play at a high level. I don't believe he's shot. I still think he gets separation. The man was getting separation last year. He just had a bum quarterback named Kyler Murray who can't throw the ball. Well, you wouldn't have to play Julio Jones all the time. Yeah, but he's mostly on the IR though. I'm more comfortable. Listen, we get Julio Jones. I'm not going to scream over it, but Hopkins makes more sense. If Julio Jones comes, so be it. I'm not going to get mad over it. But Julio Jones hasn't been the same. You know what I'm saying? Hopkins has showed you he still can play. Last year, he played good. But he also got hurt. He's coming off a knee injury. That's why I'm saying he's not going to get a lot of money. Like a lot of people think he's going to get top money or he's going to go somewhere to be the number one. Where's he going to be the number one at? No one is going to make him the number one like he used to be. That's why guys like the Bills and the Chiefs are not signing him right away. If they thought he was that guy still at a number one, they would have signed him. The Bills are not going to sign him. They had Diggs over there. They just paid him all that money to be the Josh Allen's number one. So he would be a number three again. That everybody's complaining the Philadelphia Eagles, if he came to Philadelphia, he would be that. Like, come on. So, what I'm trying to say is, if he goes to Buffalo, he'll be the number three. Because you got Davis over there. You got Hopkins over there. Knox is over there, the tight end. So he would be the number three option. If he goes to Baltimore, he more than likely won't get playing time. because they got OBJ over there. They paid him a lot of money over there. I mean, dude, he had a lot. He has a lot of money over there. They paid Lamar Jackson. They still got to sign guys. You know what I'm saying? They drafted a receiver in Zay Flowers. Where's it going to fit? People talk about all these teams, but they don't look at the roster. These guys who drafted receivers are not signed DeAndre Hopkins unless he would come in there and be a third string receiver, which everybody complained the Eagles, if they did that, he would not like. So the only way he would be the number one if he goes somewhere like Houston. Are you going to go back to a trash team? I don't know if I'm DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins just don't care about the ring. Maybe it was all bullshit. Maybe he wants the money. But if that's the case, then good luck. Good luck. If you want to win, you go to Philadelphia. That's the best place to win a ring. That's a better chance than any other team right now. Because Kansas City is in a tough conference. They're stacked over there. Exactly. And that's why I think he's going to come to Philadelphia. Because where are the options he's going to go to? This reminds me of the Steven Nelson situation. Remember when Steven Nelson wanted a lot of money? And the Eagles, what did they do? They waited patient. They waited patient. They didn't say one word. They waited patient, and then when he lowered his price, that's when they swooped. Howard Roseman's not going to strike right away. He's quiet. The fact that they're quiet and nobody's reporting the Eagles are interested shows me that there's something going behind the scenes. You know, everybody said they're interested in this guy. Usually that means they're not interested. Because the teams who are not interested are the teams that they're not talking about. Now, one report came out the Eagles are interested in Hopkins. That makes me think that the Eagles are interested. Because every time someone's interested in the player, they don't usually get him. You know, every time the Eagles are mentioned as the Eagles are interested in this guy, they don't get him. You didn't hear one word about DeAndre Hopkins coming to Philadelphia until they made that trade. Now, one time did you hear the Eagles were interested in DeAndre Swift? You didn't hear the A.J. Brown rumors to Philadelphia until they made that trade. You saw them working out, but you didn't think it was going to happen. The Eagles are not going to tell you what they're going to do. But when I look at Howard Roseman, I think he's still trying to find that number 3. And if Hopkins lowers his price, the Eagles, I guarantee you, will be one of those aggressive teams that go after him. Because they're trying to win their division and not only that, win the Super Bowl. And they got the most cap space too. Because Jalen Hurts' contract allows him to go out and get guys like that. That's why he signed Jalen Hurts to that contract, why he agreed to it, why I'm happy that he signed it. Because they can make moves like this still and go and add another player. And it's a need. I don't think we have a number 3. So when people say, you don't need Hopkins, we do though. How can you say that? DeAndre Hopkins is a need because you don't have that number 3 guy. And that's important in the league. Zacchaeus, I don't know what he is. He played for the Falcons. Congratulations. I think he's a depth piece. I don't necessarily think he's a number 3 receiver. You need someone that can help out Jalen Hurts in the slot. And when I hear people talk about, well, put Devontae back there, why? Why would I do that? Put Hopkins there. Hopkins has played in the slot before. For people saying he hasn't played, yes, he has. He's played it in the slot before. It's not his official position, but he's played it. So it is what it is. Same with Bradbury last season. They had to take less because of. Is that? But you also got to understand what report came out that Eagles were interested in Bradbury. That's why I'm saying the Eagles have a better chance of landing Hopkins than any other team. They always talk about the Bills, the Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Each one of them has already a number 1 receiver. And Hopkins reportedly wants to be a number 1. Well, dude, you're 30 years old. You're coming off a knee injury. And you've been the number 1 in Arizona. How did it work out? If you're DeAndre Hopkins, you want to be a number 1 still? Where's it gotten you? Have you won anything being that number 1 dude? Where's it gotten you? Where? Where's it gotten you? Getting all that money, where's it gotten you? Let me know. If you're DeAndre Hopkins, sometimes you take the less money to go to a team that already has number one, number two, but you're still going to get a better quarterback that's going to give you a better opportunity to win games. And also, it raises up your stock value. If you go somewhere like a bad football team like Houston, Texas, yeah, you'll be the number one over there, but you won't have the better production, which will lower your chances of being the highest paid next year. Think about it. Why do you think C.J. Gardner-Johnson didn't get a lot of money? Because he was an official safety. And if he went back to Philadelphia this year, by next year he would have more money. But he's stupid. You know, if I'm Hopkins, I'm 31 years old. Am I going to go somewhere where it's going to be stacked for me having no chance of winning? Because listen, the Chiefs are not going to win every year in the Super Bowl. They got a competition over there. They almost got beat by the Bengals. They were lucky to win that game by a field goal. The Eagles were killing teams. And also, you got to understand, we play some tough teams this year. I'm not sleeping on none of these teams this year. That's why I said we need to fill every position as possible. You are never satisfied at number 3. And if you can get a Hopkins to go with AJ and Devontae, you do that fucking deal. Because you want to be so explosive on offense that you will help your defense out too. How are they going to get you off the field? And also, DeAndre Hopkins also mentioned this, right? Jalen Hurts is top 5. He also mentioned he wants to play with a good defense. The Eagles got a great defense over there. Our defense is elite. The Eagles got elite defense over there. They just changed the defense coordinator. I think Sean Desai is going to be one of those guys that everybody's going to love. Because he's going to bring that aggressive defense style back. I promise you. Listen to him made me excited. I'm excited, by the way, by Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, by the way. I haven't talked about them enough. Videos are coming soon about that. But again, if you're about the money, go to Detroit. They'll pay you. But you won't win nothing. So when I hear people talk about Eagles having no shot, okay, that means we do. You know what I'm saying? Eagles don't have a shot. Okay, I'm joking. But the Kansas City Chiefs do, right? They didn't want to pay Tyreek Hill. Why would they pay DeAndre Hopkins, though? Andy Reid does not have a number one receiver because he already has Travis Kelce as that dude. Kelce's their number one dude. That is Mahomes' number one. They also drafted one before that, Sky Moore. I believe they also got Kadarius Toney over there. You know, Mahomes. They're not signing DeAndre Hopkins. It's just not. So I mean, the only option I see DeAndre Hopkins going to that has a chance of winning, if he's smart. Now again, he might not be a smart dude. You know, a lot of football players always about money. Maybe he doesn't want to win. Maybe he wants to go to a team like Mahomes because he wants to, I don't know, go over there and think he's going to win over there. But to me, it's Jalen Hurts is the best option to win. You're not going to be the number one in Baltimore. You're not going to be the number one in Buffalo. So where's it going to be the number one at? A garbage football team. Like, where? Maybe the Giants? Why would you want to play with Dan Jones? Dan Jones stinks. It's not a good quarterback. So I look at it as he should come to Philadelphia because it's a smart business decision. It's not about me thinking it's going to happen. It's just a logic point at this time. You're 30 years old. You're not the same player. And if you want to go and revive your career, you go to Philadelphia. You have a better chance of winning with any other team. You have a better chance of winning Philadelphia than any other team. They've been to a Super Bowl. They got a great GM. Hopkins loves, leaders. He wants a quarterback that he can win with. He named Jalen Hurts. I would not throw the Eagles out of that mix. I wouldn't. Howard Roseman always finds a way to get guys that he wants. And also, I want to point out that, everybody not talking about, but the fact that Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Hopkins followed each other recently, what made A.J. Brown come to Philadelphia? Social media. Social media is a powerful tool, man. It can be used in a good way and a bad way. And when you got Jalen Hurts trying to recruit guys, He follows them. It's also crazy that he's changed his agent suddenly. The agent that happily be Devontae Smith's agent. It's funny that no one's taking that serious. I take that serious too, because he just had an agent. He just changed it to the agent that Devontae Smith had. Now people talk about, well, it's not a big deal. I don't know about that one. Once there's a pattern going on, and once there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a pattern being developed. Before the release, Hopkins said he wanted to play with Jalen Hurts. He got released. Then you heard the rumors that DeAndre Hopkins to the Eagles makes sense. Then you saw Jalen Hurts follow recently. It was recent. People talk about, well, Jalen's could have followed. Well, he follows everybody. Well, Jalen Hurts just recently followed him because you could see who they recently followed. And DeAndre Hopkins hasn't followed Jalen until now. So when I look at it, some interest. And also, if you're DeAndre Hopkins, look at the coaches. Let's look at the coaches, right? You got Sean McDermott, a choke artist. He's a choke artist. He's a loser. He's done nothing. I don't think he's a top head coach. You got John Harbaugh. Okay, you're a good coach. But again, you got questions with Lamar Jackson. Can he win with these receivers? Can he bring his team to the Super Bowl? He's done nothing like that. They paid him all that money, though. So where are you going to go that's going to give you the better production? It's Philly. It's Philly. And I think we need a number 3. So that's just my thoughts. And people can disagree with me. It is what it is. I'm back, man. People keep on interrupting, man. It's crazy, bro. I can't go in my room because they build it, redoing it. No, like I said, man, DeAndre Hopkins to the Eagles makes sense, man. It makes sense because, like, you get AJ and Devontae. Where's it gonna go to? Like, I'm beating around the bush. I'm excited for this Eagles team. Um, the fact that they didn't put DeAndre Swift first of all, let's talk about the PFF standings, right? First of all, I don't take them seriously. PFF ranked DeAndre Swift 25 overall. Okay. This is a important year for DeAndre Swift, man, and I feel like DeAndre Swift is getting disrespected. DeAndre Swift is going to a really good situation, and I cannot wait for him to run the ball with this best offensive line football because it's going to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You got a top 5 running back on this football team, top 5 when he's healthy. The dude is only 24 years old, 23 years old, I believe. And he is a better player, in my opinion, than Miles Sanders. He hits the holes. He's explosive. He's not afraid to lower his pads when he wants to. You got him or Rashad Penny. And I think people are sleeping on that. What this Eagles team can be, the damage-wise, what they can do with this offensive line, man. This offensive line is dangerous. And you add him with this best offensive line with Lane Johnson, Kelsey, Dickerson. I mean, people are not talking about that. Everybody wants to talk about DeAndre Swift can't stay healthy. Well, DeAndre Swift went to a bad football team. He was drafted by the Lions. The Lions are horrible franchise. You know what I'm saying? They traded him for peanuts, and they're going to regret that. The same team that thought it was a good idea to trade A.J. Brown to the Eagles. You ever notice anytime they trade to the Eagles and end up backfiring on them? You know what I'm saying? And I think DeAndre Swift is going to provide that. You know what I'm saying? No, I went on a rant with DeAndre Hopkins, but I feel like the disrespect DeAndre Swift is not tolerated. I'm gonna make a video a little bit later. I'm not even gonna make a video because frankly, it's nothing to talk about with this Eagles team. We already know what this Eagles team's gonna be. Everybody want to talk about all these other teams, and not one person telling me that they want to talk about Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hurts, AJ, but they don't focus on the running backs. Do you know how explosive DeAndre Swift is with an open lane? He can take it to the distance. So when PFF comes in with the stat, by the way, PFF is a joke, man. You know what I'm saying? They're the same ones who think that Lamar Jackson is better than Jalen Hurts. Come on, bro. No, he's not. Lamar has one MVP year, and since then, what has he done? He has not lived up to what he's supposed to be. Just being real with you. That's why they have to give him weapons. Jalen Hurts showed you before, even without the weapons, he could take a team to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's shown you. You know what I'm saying? He just needed to work on his development, and he's done that. So you add him with the best receivers, AJ and Devontae. By the way, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, they got to be higher, man. Justin Jefferson's not better than AJ Brown. I'm going to be real with you. I don't care what anybody says. Justin Jefferson's not AJ Brown on any level, man. AJ Brown is way better receiver than Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson don't show up in big games. When have you seen Justin Jefferson show up in playoff games? I saw AJ do it. I saw Devontae do it. So when people talk about Justin Jefferson, they just want to hype him up. He show up in regular season games, but he don't show up in the big games. He didn't show up when corners are locking him down. Darius Slay locked his ass down. Now one person locked down A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was eating. They're giving disrespect to Devontae Smith. Devontae is known to kill corners. That's why I call him a Slim Reaper. So when I see this ranking, man, it's all bullshit. The same people who told me that Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to throw the football are the same ones who are now disrespecting DeAndre Swift. And it's cool because now he's on the Eagles. If he was on somewhere else, he would get so much praise. He would have got so much praise. Because last year he was a top 5 running back on everybody. But now you join the Eagles, he's not top 5. He's 25. Okay. All right. PFF is a joke, man. That's why I call him Pathetic Football Focus, man. Because they know him. They don't know what they're talking about. A bunch of grown men have no idea what they talk about. Go off stats, not production, not what is around this football team. Not the fact that offensive line for Detroit was horrible. They just got a little bit better. But they're not like the Eagles, man. He's never had a elite quarterback. He had Jared Goff and maybe 1 year Matthew Stafford. Come on. Detroit's a joke, bro. That's why every player wants to leave. Unless you're C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think it's crazy how many people are disrespecting DeAndre Swift, man. DeAndre Swift's going to go off. DeAndre Swift's going to go off, man. And he's coming back to his hometown. People are not talking about that. I think he's a better player than Miles Sanders. Way better. He can run the ball. He hits holes. He doesn't dance. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the best offensive line to do it. So that's what I want to talk about too. Everybody want to talk about this and that. The Philadelphia Eagles have a better chance of repeating because they got their core team still attached, right? Yeah, you lost Hargrave. Everyone will talk about we lose free agents, but look what we got. Greedy Williams is a good corner. Just gotta stay healthy. So you brought James Bradbury back. You brought Slay back. I hear all this, we lost players, but they love not to mention who we got. Terrell Emmons is a good safety. He's a good safety. You know what I'm saying? He took less to come to Philadelphia because he would have got more. Pittsburgh was offering him a multiple year extension. You know what I'm saying? C.J. Gardner-Johnson already wants to come back to Philly. That's why he talks about us constantly. He can't keep her name out his mouth. You know what I'm saying? The same person who supposedly loves Detroit is still talking about us. Call them Super Bowl contenders, yet he talks about us constantly. Misses us. Because it's different when you go to a new city. It's different when you go to a team like Detroit, which is a horrible franchise. They don't got the right players. That's why everybody in Detroit in the draft, every time they get drafted by these teams, end up being wasted. So, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have a great franchise. They're run by a great GM. An owner is respectable. He does a lot for this community. Players admire them. They're one of the best franchises to play with. Passionate fans who love football. So I can't wait for this season, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for the season. I can't wait. I want football to start now. You know what I'm saying? I want football to start now. I think the Eagles are a team that everybody's disrespecting again. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I saw a lot of people predicting our schedule. They have us losing the Giants one time. We're going to sweep the Giants. Everybody talk about Miami Dolphins, a scary football team. I don't think so. We can match up on any other team if we want to. We can match up against the Bills. We blew the Bills out. We blew them out, and we can blow them out again. I want that matchup. I don't think Josh Allen's better than Jalen Hurts. I've been saying that. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen's done nothing. He's a loser. You know what I'm saying? He's done nothing in the big games, He's done nothing. Everybody told me he's a great quarterback, top 5 quarterback. Yeah, he's leads in picks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to talk about this. But they don't want to mention the pieces that we've gotten. They don't give DeAndre Swift enough respect. And I love that, man. DeAndre Swift's going to go off. I can't wait for every Sunday. He's going to run through that hole. Ooh, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, man. A one person watching. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, it's just crazy. 14-3. Watch. Yeah, I think we're going to go 14. I can see 14-3. Giants haven't signed Saquon. Yeah, they won't. They won't. Look how hesitant the Ravens were to sign Lamar. They really didn't want to pay him at that kind. No, I mean, listen, and the Ravens aren't done for that. Because I've been saying, I don't care what anybody says. Watch Lamar Jackson. The dude's inconsistent with throwing. Why do you think any other receiver in free agents, every receiver said before, when everybody said what Jalen Hurts, no receiver want to play with them, these receivers had a chance to go play with Lamar Jackson. And not one of them wanted to come there. OBJ came there because they paid him. Not because he wanted to play with Lamar Jackson. They paid him. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Zay Flowers was drafted, fortunately. But everybody, they traded Hollywood Brown because he wanted to be traded. Because he didn't like Lamar Jackson. Because he didn't feel like Lamar was throwing him the ball enough. Now, he went to a bad football team, like another bad quarterback named Kyler Murray. But that's why he wanted out. That had nothing to do with the reason why they traded him was because they wanted to give Lamar no weapons. Because, dude, no one wants to play with you. You're not be able to throw the ball to them, then you're going to waste them. Everybody said Jalen Hurts couldn't throw the ball. Why everybody wants to play with Jalen Hurts? You notice that DeAndre Hopkins named Jalen Hurts before he named Lamar. He named Lamar, but he didn't name him in his first beginning. He said Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like Lamar is a good. People talk about he can be a good quarterback. I haven't seen it. I've seen him can't read the defense. That playoff game where he lost to the Bills, it was in double coverage. He couldn't read it. I think it was a cover 3. He missed the opportunity, and it was a pick 6, and you know what happened? The Titans game, every time they had a home field advantage, he lost. And now he wants money. Good, they paid him. You know what I'm saying? They paid him. I'm glad we got Jalen Hurts done. And it is what it is. I don't care what the Ravens do. I'm focused on the Eagles. Lamar's not my quarterback. I want to take him over Jalen Hurts, and this is being real with you. It's not me being stupid. It's being real. Lamar's not better than Jalen Hurts. It's not. And you put Lamar Jackson on his Eagles team, you're not winning more than one playoff game. Promise you that one. I don't care how much receivers you have. Baker Mayfield had all this talent and still couldn't get it done. You can have all the talent you want. You're not an assistant quarterback. You're not going to win nothing. Just being real with you. So when people tell me Lamar has all these weapons, great. That means nothing. He has not shown he can win in the big games. He's no different than any other quarterback they overhyped. I think he's overhyped, man. I really do. Lamar actually said he was going to run less. Yeah, sure he will. Dude, Lamar Jackson needs to run, though. He's a running quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to talk about Jalen Hurts running quarterback, but he's not a running quarterback. Lamar's a running quarterback. Lamar needs that RPO system to work. When they don't have the RPO, he can't read a defense. That's why he needs the RPO. Why I don't understand a lot of Eagle fans saying we should have. Well, I would take Lamar. Lamar's a running quarterback. They don't run. They don't throw the ball that much, and when they do, it's mostly RPOs, which is fine. I mean, Jalen uses it, but he also can throw from the pocket. That's not his only thing. Lamar needs to run because that's the only way to defend him. If you take away his running game, you make him stay in the pocket, he's not going to do it. It's not. I don't care how many weapons you have. You still got to be able to throw with accuracy. And people still forget that. They want to get rid of all the things he didn't do. And they want to say, well, he had a 1 MVP year. Congratulations. He had an MVP year because he ran. Now show me where he was throwing the ball. Well, look at the stats, look at his passes. That yeah, okay. He was in a goal line situation because of his number one defense. He had an elite defense. And listen, in the next couple of years, he's not going to be able to have those weapons. He's complaining about the exact same thing, but yet he got a lot of money and he took a lot more money. And the next few years, he's going to complain about the same situation that he didn't want. But yet he put his team in that situation by signing that contract. So in the next few years, they're going to be back in the same situation. Meanwhile, the Eagles are going to have more cap space because Jalen Hurts was willing to restructure to make it team friendly. Lamar didn't care about that. Lamar wanted his money. So the next few years, the Ravens are going to be back to square one with him. And he's going to want to demand a trade. But he's going to be on a contract, though. So yeah, he won his battle. He got his money. But it's going to hurt him in the long term. Because he's going to make the team not be able to sign players because they're going to have being cap strapped with this contract. Yeah, no, Cam Newton had one MVP. Yeah, exactly. So what? Cam Newton had an MVP year. I love how everybody wants to bring that up. And Lamar had an MVP year. Yeah, well, he's been inconsistent since then. He has not lived up after the MVP year. When you are an MVP quarterback, you're supposed to be better after that. And he showed nothing. You know, Lamar Jackson is going to be back to square one in the next few years. Look at his contract. Jalen Hurts is going to be team friendly where it's not going to hurt the Eagles in the long term. It's going to hurt the Baltimore Ravens, though. Because their contract with Lamar Jackson, he's going to be back to square one with no weapons. Because they're not going to be able to afford him. And they're going to be losing defensive players left and right. Queen's a free agent next year. That's why they drafted Trent Simpson. They're not going to be able to sign players. So Lamar Jackson complaining about no weapons? Dude, you just got a contract that's going to prevent you for the next few years not to get weapons. That you just complained about. That you were crying and bitching you wanted out. Yet you just made your team in a situation where they paid you and you got your money, but it's not team friendly. And yeah, you got your money, but now you're going to complain the next few years that you have nothing around you. I don't want to hear it. Because quarterbacks do that. Well, I don't feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. Talk about you don't have weapons around you. Bro, you lost Davante Adams because you wanted a lot of money. You wanted to be the highest paid quarterback. And when you got your money, they couldn't afford Davante Adams, so they had to trade him. That's what happens when you want to be money hungry and not about the team. And that's why I respect Jalen Hurts, man. Because listen, he could have captured the Eagles all he wanted. He didn't have to give the Eagles shit. He was a second-round pick. No one wanted him when they first drafted him. I didn't hate the player. I hated the pick. You know? And he proved everybody wrong. He could have had all the money he wanted. He took less for the team because he's a winner. And he wants to win. You know? And shout out to GM Howard Roseman. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. That's a quarterback that believes not only for this year, but the long term. He doesn't care about all the money. Yeah, he wants to get paid, but most of his contract is up front. It's the back load of the contract that you got to worry about with quarterbacks. And guys like Daniel Jones is going to get a lot of backload contracts. They're going to hurt the Giants. Guys like, all these quarterbacks who get paid. It's not about the money that you get paid. It's the backload. It's the dead money. And Jalen Hurts' dead money is not going to be that much. And we can restructure it again. Where Lamar Jackson, you're not going to be able to restructure it. Not to the point where you're going to be able to free up space. So, you want to talk about Lamar Jackson window now? It's now. Because if he don't win a Super Bowl, his window is closing. It's closed permanently. But good luck, It is what it is. I don't care. Yeah, Cam Newton had one MVP. Yeah, Zach, Cam Newton. Yeah. But here's the thing. Cam Newton took his team to a Super Bowl. And he choked in the deal. But he took his team to a Super Bowl. Lamar's done nothing like that. It's not like Lamar Jackson been to a Super Bowl. He's done nothing like that. He still can't get past a divisional round. He's not gone to an NFC Championship game. So, you talk about all these quarterbacks that you want to be paid of. Hurts took his team in the second year to a Super Bowl. Yeah, he didn't win it, but he took them there. Bro has done that. Mahomes has won them. So you're not on their level. So when people say Lamar Jackson with the Eagles team is better than Jalen, I disagree. If you call up the Ravens right now, before Lamar Jackson contract came in, you called them up and said, we'll give you Jalen Hurts for Lamar, I guarantee you they would trade for him immediately. You giving us Jalen Hurts, a leader? Man, shit, tell me, say less. They'll give you Lamar Jackson because he's not a leader. The Ravens would win with Jalen Hurts. I don't know about Lamar. Lamar's a fast, shifty player, but he's not a leader. And you can be all you want. You can be fast. You can have the biggest arm. You got to be a leader, though. Some quarterbacks are not leaders. They're money hungry. They're not about the team. They say they are, but they're not. It's because they say they are, don't mean they are. Lamar say he's about the team. What if you're about the team? You would take less money for the team so they can help you. You stupid ass. So now you can't complain about weapons. But your dumb ass wanted a lot of money. And you're going to be back in a situation in the next 5 years. But yeah, you got paid. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Exactly. Jackson's cap hit is $22 million. Yeah, exactly. But here, everybody going to sit there and say he had no weapons. Well, because they can't afford them. And he's going to want to trade. He's going to cry about it. He's going to want out. And it's going to be a drama queen with him. You know what I'm saying? Because heaven forbid, should he take less money to help his team. At least I get you want to be paid. But you did it in the wrong way. You can want to be paid. But sometimes, it's not about all the money you want. It's about helping your football team. And, guys are going to be leaving. It is what it is. He's going to complain, and his sorry is going to complain. And, I don't think even with the weapons, he's going to go anywhere. Because I don't think he's a elite thrower like a lot of people think he is. But I can't wait. Because we're going to find out what Lamar is. Because he has no excuse now. They gave him weapons. So if he don't win a Super Bowl for the next 2 years with them, then he's not worth that money. Because you paid him to win a Super Bowl. You don't pay a quarterback top money if you don't believe he can take you all the way. So, he thinks that he can win a Super Bowl. He better show it. Because they're going to have less money with Lamar's cap space. Lamar is not going to have enough money he's going to have all this money, and yet guys are going to be leaving. That's what happens when you want a lot of money. When you're money hungry, you're not about a team. Jalen Hurts I respect because he could demand. Listen, he could have had more money than Patrick Mahomes. He took less because he saw the importance. He saw what he had. He didn't want to lose it. That's smart quarterback play. That is a smart quarterback play. That's smart quarterback decisions. That's a smart quarterback that understands the game and how it works. You are not winning with people talk about with Jalen Hurts all these weapons. Yeah, because he wants to win. No quarterback, I don't care what quarterback you put, no quarterback's going to win without weapons. You need weapons to win championships. I don't care what quarterback you have. Joe Montana had weapons. Jerry Rice, Roger Craig. You know what I'm saying? He had all these weapons. Any quarterback you want to put me up to and tell me that they had weapons. No quarterback had no weapons and went to a Super Bowl and won it. Don't work like that. So, Jalen Hurts wants to win. Nothing wrong with that. I don't get why people make a big deal out of it. Josh Allen had weapons. Are people making a big deal? No, they're not saying DeAndre Hopkins should join them. You know, it is what it is. I'm not. I don't care one bit. I got my quarterback, and I would take Jalen Hurts all day over Lamar Jackson. Jalen's a better thrower. Jalen can throw in the pocket. Lamar needs an RPO system. You know what I'm saying? And people talk about he will be scary with these weapons. How? He can't throw the ball. Why if the guys didn't want to play with him? If guys thought he could throw the ball, don't you think they would have came to Baltimore? Exactly. So I mean, people talk about he could throw the ball. When the guy is one of the weakest arms I've ever seen in the league. He throws his little soft little throw that doesn't hit the receiver a lot of times because he's not a true quarterback and he doesn't work on anything. He's all about running the ball, and that's great and fine. He also can't stay healthy. I don't think he's an elite thrower. I don't care what any weapons you give him. Give him all the weapons you want. That does not make you a good quarterback. Baker Mayfield had OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Njoku, all these guys. He couldn't win shit with them. They give him all the weapons, man. Yet, he couldn't do it. That's what it is. But we've been here for what? 1 minute, 52 seconds. Man, that's crazy. We've been here for a while, man. I'm just going to say this, right? I feel like we need to add on these receivers. I feel like Jalen Hurts needs that one more weapon. And whether we get DeAndre Hopkins, whether we don't, I would go after him. I do. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to come to Philadelphia because he's not going to get the money he wants. And he's going to choose Philly. And he's going to have a better chance of winning than any other team right now. Philadelphia you would want to go to Philadelphia if you're any free agent. The two best teams right now is Kansas City and Philadelphia. You talk about Buffalo. Buffalo don't know how to win in big games. You saw Buffalo. They struggled. And Josh Allen, all these receivers, yeah, he can't win with them. So when you look at the Eagles, man, they're a popular place. And if you're DeAndre Hopkins, you want to win the ring. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would go to Philadelphia. It is what it is. But we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see where he goes. I'm definitely going to be talking about him more. And I guess we'll find out, because listen, you got this dude, anything can happen. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Your boy EC1. Peace out, man. Birds.